Alright folks, it's time to wrap up the year 2025. We enjoyed the Crownfall event, put Cass to the test, and even raged over some updates. But speaking of our inventories, the main highlight was Dota Boom, with its reputable, provably fair system. Think about it, throughout the year they gave away over 500,000 free daily chests to active users of the site. That's 500,000 free chances to build up your inventory from scratch. And there's crazy stuff in there. You can snag a baby Roshan or a Dragon Claw hook. If you like the item, you can add it to your Steam inventory, and if you get garbage, you can upgrade it right away. Here you can turn a couple of cheap items into a Dragon Claw hook. And I haven't even mentioned the new event chests, Arcana items in Battle Pass, PvP, leaderboards, and so on. Now listen closely, use my promo code even if you already used another one, and you'll get a bonus of 5% on your next deposit and a bonus chest from us. Hurry up, it's available until February 16th. Click the link, use the promo code, and get your bonus right now.
Hey, what is up guys? It's your boy Speed here, and today we're back with 7.40. As you can see, I am literally surrounded by other people and computers, so if I pick up background noise, apologies now. You know, I wanted to make the video when the patch came out last night, but unfortunately, I was going to bed, so everything that could possibly make this video weird is going to be the case, but let's break it down. I'm going to try to go through this basically as fast as possible. This is a huge patch. I mean, very, very excited for this patch. The implications of the changes seem really fun. I've been talking to my teammates about it. There's a lot of new heroes, items, neutral items, so on and so forth. So definitely excited to play this patch, and you guys probably should be as well. So all right, let's start it off. You know, general changes, a lot of them aren't going to really apply to you guys. Let's mainly focus on the ones that do. The captain's mode, nothing really crazy to look at here. I would say for general changes, this one is pretty significant. Talents no longer require a skill point. So at level 10, let's say you're playing Mars and you're 440, you have a point in your ult. At level 10, usually you would have to decide between a point in Bulwark and your talent. Now you don't have to do that. Same thing for something like an Alchemist, right? You can just skill up your E and take your talent as well, which is pretty cool. It's definitely, I would say, especially a buff for heroes that would feel bad about having to choose between one or the other. Obviously not going to go through every example, but yeah, pretty interesting. Next up, tier 4 towers are harder to kill. Just going to summarize it with that. There's a different assist gold formula, not going to really cover that one. One weird change with creeps is that now flag bearer creeps, there's a couple things about them. They do not give HP regen to heroes, which a lot of people didn't even take into consideration. Previously, flag bearer creeps would give you 3 HP regen if you were remotely close to them. That would make heroes a lot harder to kill in the laning stage. I actually don't think people realize how much of a ripple effect this is going to have. You are just going to have lower health in the lane. Like, you would get a lot of HP regen from these flag bearers. On top of that, they have this really weird effect now where on creep waves, they give 4% magic resist, and it goes up to 15 bonus stacks. So every 7.5 minutes, they will give 4% more magic resist to creeps that they are near. So kind of randomly, I mean, it's every other creep wave, it's just going to be harder to nuke down waves. Certain heroes are just not going to be able to one-shot waves where they usually would be able to. Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be a really odd nerf to certain heroes, especially heroes that needed to clear waves with magic damage. Next up, couriers respawn faster, which I actually really like. I think they were just dead for too long. Sniping couriers was frankly OP, and I actually think it was a part of the game people didn't abuse enough. Like, killing couriers was just broken. On top of that, I love this change. Couriers no longer have a movement speed penalty when carrying regen. So for all you support players, spam and regen. It's you don't have to have that really slow courier. A big change of this patch is all illusions now have set daytime and nighttime vision, and it's about half of the average hero, right? It's exactly half of the average hero. And this is a big nerf to, for instance, Naga Siren, where in the pro scene, people would send illusions everywhere, scout the entire map. This is particularly targeted at her, in my opinion. However, it obviously hits heroes like Terrorblade, PL, and so on and so forth. You know, Manta Styles as well, something like Medusa or Luna, pretty big nerf. Next up, for Roshan, you basically don't lifesteal much off of it anymore. That's something you have to be aware. I would say this is actually somewhat of a buff to a hero like Juggernaut, where he doesn't rely on lifesteal to kill Roshan. He just relies on healing. So healing in general is going to be much better for killing Roche for things like Vlad's, or this is a weird example, but something like a Morbid Mask on Ursa, not that you would do that, are worse. Next up, Tormentor now has a timer, which is cool. I think a lot of players struggle to kill it, get on the same page in pubs to kill it. So I think this is just a good change from Valve to help people get on the same page. Another big change I like about the Tormentor is the Shining, which is the damage damage over time the Tormentor would deal to you if you stood even remotely close to it does not proc until you damage it, which is so nice because you couldn't even stand in the area at all. You would just start ticking down, and it was like 45 DPS, so big fan of that change. Next up, runes. The bounty runes now only grant gold based on when it was created, not when it was activated. Haste runes got nerfed a little bit. Invis rune no longer gives damage reduction. Okay, in terms of the terrain changes, obviously this is something you're just going to mainly figure out as you play the game. I'm not going to try to just read them all. It's basically pointless. However, the big one you absolutely can read is Twin Gate mana cost is now less than half, right, from 75 to 30, and it now refunds the mana cost if the teleporting channel was interrupted. So previously, if you wanted to hit the gate, you absolutely had to know you were hitting it in the early game. Otherwise, you were burning through mana, right? And so it's really important to note that you guys can basically walk to the gate, say, oh, I might hit it, start channeling it, decide, nah, I'm going to stay in my lane, and just rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. So gates are better than ever, especially in the early game. You should keep them in mind. They don't cost that much mana, and you can pump fake them, which is actually very significant. And finally, the other change in terrain that I think is pretty significant is the Watcher Night vision was decreased from 800 to 450. So Watchers during the night are significantly worse. Still worth taking, as now they take only 1 second to capture instead of 1.5. But yeah, in general, Watchers during the night, much worse, which I actually like because nighttime Watchers were pretty broken. It honestly felt if you walked up to one as a support and tried to take it, you would frequently die because they would have so much time to see you before you actually got to click it. Next up, there's some invulnerability targeting thing. Basically, the main thing you need to know is that in the last patch, let's say you were playing Venge and you clicked swap on some guy and then he uled before you casted swap, but you still had clicked it on him, you would swap him out of the ules when you got in range, which was very weird. And basically most purges worked like this, like Oracle's Q, Shadow Demon. There's like a lot of weird examples where you could like purge someone when they were uled. Now this just doesn't really work. However, oddly enough, like, for instance, Oracle's Q can still purge someone out of Yules if you purge the guy next to them. I don't know. It's kind of weird. That's basically how it works. Next up, let's talk about items. Clarities. There are now more Clarities, but they cost 10 more gold. Still worth buying Clarities. Salve. The big change here is that there's one more salve. Iron Branch costs 5 more gold. Pretty significant for starting items, right? You can no longer go wand 3 branches. You can only go wand 2 branches. There's going to be a lot of very odd starting item adjustments you're going to have to make because of this, but it's probably fair. Iron Branch is pretty broken. Next up, obs can no longer be instantly placed on top of each other. So if your 2 support players cringe out and place wards at the same time in the same spot, it just won't happen. I like that. However, the kind of sad change, I don't really like this one, but wards are no longer increased by cast range increases. So you can't place them further if you have an Aether Lens, or if you're playing like Hoodwink with the Go Nuts facet. So it's a pretty big nerf to, for instance, Hoodwink. I think a big advantage of that hero was maxing your E and planting wards from like across the map. This is huge. And planting sentries, same way. And I love buying Aether Lens for that exact reason, but no longer in the game. Okay, next up, smoke can now be directly used from the backpack. It does not have a cooldown when entering the main inventory from the backpack, so pretty nice quality of life change from smoke. You do not have to hand it to allies if you want to use it. You can just swap it in from your backpack, pop it, super, super nice. Next up, there are more tangos in the game now, a lot more tangos, but shared tangos now heal for half the amount per second. So if you give a tango to your carry, it will basically do not nothing, but it is half the value. This means, guys, if you're a carry player, you should be buying your own regen. Salves are half, tangos are half. You have to buy your own regen. This is actually going to be a big adjustment for all core players. You cannot rely on shared tangos anymore. You need to buy it yourself. You're ruining the game if you play carry and you buy one set of tangos. I assure you, you will lose MMR if you are only buying one set of tangos on core roles. Next up, Roshan's Banner is slightly worse at level 1, but it's better overall. It scales up for each one you get, so pretty interesting. Ghost Scepter now makes you take less damage from magic spells when activated, 10% less, pretty significant. There's some cost changes to certain items, pretty significant, just like 100 gold here, 50 gold there, nothing crazy. Bloodstone is, I would say, about the same. Boots of Bearing, basically about the same, gives a bit more HP regen, but I would say the buildup is practically the same because you're not going to buy like Tranquils and a Ring of Tarask and a Drum. So basically it doesn't have a recipe. It builds from Ring of Tarask, but you're never buying the Ring of Tarask until the last item anyway, pretty much. So I don't know, that one kind of doesn't make sense. One of the biggest changes of the patch is Crimson Guard is no longer dispellable. Crimson Guard not being dispellable is insane. For instance, a hero like Shadow Demon was very good with when paired with minus armor or physical damage heroes, because the counter to physical damage is 2 purgeable items, Solar Crest and Crimson Guard. Now one of them is just completely undispellable. So Crimson Guard is going to be a broken item, frankly. In the right games, it is turbo broken, just fully undispellable. Nullifier was basically a required item for a hero like Lycan in a lot of games because of Crimson Guard. Now this is a big nerf to heroes like Lycan, where they are giga countered by the item and they would buy Nullifier happily. You just can't even do this interaction. So huge nerf to Lycan, in my opinion. The hero has a pretty big flaw now, where Crimson Guard is just that good. Okay, Dagon, basically the same, slightly better. Diffusal Blade no longer applied by illusions. So if you're playing PL, you shouldn't buy Diffusal. Obviously the slow is still good, but Diffusal Blade much better on heroes like Slark now. Well, not much better, it's the same on Slark. What I mean to say is it's basically only purchasable on heroes like Slark. You really shouldn't buy it on PL. Disperser, interesting change there. You can now dispel people with the active. So if someone is Ghost Sceptered and you have a Disperser, you can dispel them. It's very good on a hero like Meepo, for instance. Ethereal Blade now builds from an Ultimate Orb instead of Aether Lens, so it is no longer a support item. It is now basically just a right-click item. This kind of returns E-Blade back to the era of the Morphling days, where you would buy it and try to blow people up. Honestly, I don't know who you would buy this on besides something like Morphling, because you just get a bunch of all stats. So yeah, I don't know, very weird item, gonna be niche. I kind of don't like the change. I actually liked the state of E-Blade, where it was like this defensive, very niche save item on Sup, building from Aether. So yeah, I'm not a huge fan of this change. I don't really get why they would do that, but sure. Glimmer Cape, same. Guardian Greaves got a really weird change. I'm pretty sure this item is maybe even bad. I don't know exactly what they were going for here. The item is way cheaper, about 700 gold cheaper, but now the passive doesn't give any benefits when your allies are low HP. It just doesn't give these benefits to your allies at all. It's not a team item. It's only gives these benefits to you. I don't know exactly why they would go for this. It's basically just like a offlaner item. I guess it's okay on something like Darkseer, but even then, this item to me seems terrible, frankly awful. The main advantage is it's a cheaper dispel. If you were buying Mac and you have Mana Boots on a Darkseer, you can, get this casual dispel, which is good on a hero like that, but kind of weird, very niche. Midas, cool change. I don't know what to think about it. It doesn't give XP now, which was huge for heroes like Invoker or, an Enigma who really need the levels. Now it's 20 seconds lower cooldown. So for heroes that wanted the gold from it, it's much better. It gives you a lot of gold. Yeah, I don't know if it's good or not. I'm not going to lie, guys. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's good. My inclination is that the item is probably in about the same spot. People are going to try it, but I doubt it's like broken or anything like that. The XP was pretty significant in my opinion. Next up, Heart is, I believe it's slightly buffed. Honestly, the change is kind of weird. It like gives you more HP regen if you're missing health, but Big change for the patch, Heaven's Halberd is now only dispellable by strong dispels, which is kind of crazy, right? It doesn't work through BKB, right? So it's not like you just, you can't just disarm someone through BKB. However, the big thing here is if someone has Satanic or Manta Style, these were the main counters to Halberd, they don't work. They straight up don't work. So yeah, if you're playing against a Satanic Gyro, maybe some guy is going a very greedy build on Gyro. He has Satanic Daedalus, Ags. This is something that people do from time to time. You can pick up a Halberd, like a casual late Halberd in some games, and counter out his Satanic usage. Or click it on him right as he gets low and you know he's going to Satanic, and it's just going to completely be undispellable and really counter the hero. So very good niche use cases for Halberd. I'm going to be excited to see people try to use that against, I would say primarily Satanic is going to be where Halberd thrives. Helm Dom now gives only 50% XP in gold. I don't want to say it kills the item. Obviously, it's a huge nerf. There's no denying that. I don't think it kills the item. It's a huge nerf. I don't know where the item's going to stand. Obviously, you know, the Marcies and Centaurs are going to be worse because of this. I just refuse to believe. I mean, I haven't actually read the Centaur or Marcy changes yet, but I don't know if unless those heroes also get nerfed, I think they could still buy the item. It just does a bit too much, even outside of the Dominate, giving XP. But yeah, obviously on heroes where it was a bit more niche, slightly less useful, I don't think you're going to buy it. Like something on, like, for instance, like on a Mars or a Slaughter where it was like much weaker, not nearly as useful, I don't think you're going to buy it. Holy Lucket got some really cool changes here. Now requires Crown instead of Diadem, so that is a much better build up. which is definitely nice. You get to have Wand Crown in your inventory, which is super cool. The recipe is more expensive, but obviously that's a worthwhile trade-off as you get better build-up. The all attributes are 2 worse, but that's not the end of the world. It does suck, but it's not the end of the world. Again, better build-up, I would say, is overall net positive. You get less charges, so the automatic charge gain time is from 8 to 10, which is a big nerf. You do get more total charges, but it's going to take you a long time to get there. I think it's almost 4 or 5 minutes. Obviously, that's not including if people cast spells around you. The cast range is 100 bigger, which is really huge. So the item's cast range much, much better, super significant. It gives less mana per charge, which kind of sucks, but the healing didn't get nerfed. And the big thing here is that you can get up to 25 charges, and it's amped by 10%. So when you click Holy Locket on an ally, their healing amplification is increased by 10%. This is pretty huge, right? Because you're buying Holy Locket typically on heroes that also have other heals, and so the item is just very good. I'm pretty sure Holy Locket is going to have a great place on heroes like Io and Oracle and, Treant and Chen and stuff like that. It's just going to be a super solid option. 10% healing up is frankly a lot, so yeah, definitely going to be interested in buying this item. Nice build up. I wouldn't say it's like super buffed, but yeah, it definitely a solid item. Conda is about the same. It now basically gives health instead of regen, which, yeah, I mean, seems fine. The item's probably a bit better. Wand costs a bit more gold, not surprising. Branches were nerfed. Mech gives 1 armor. Meteor Hammer stuns for a bit longer. Nullifier can no longer target invulnerable units. Octarine is no longer dispellable and now is a bit more expensive. I don't know why they would nerf this item. I don't think Octarine is good. Pavis got +1 armor, which is actually a pretty big buff. This item, in my opinion, is already pretty broken, and it's just getting like +1 armor, which is actually a lot in the early game. So Pavis, much better. Perseverance can now be dissembled. That's probably pretty significant from time to time. I don't know when, but yeah, sure. Pipe is the same. Phylactery now gives regen instead of flat health and mana. So Phylactery builds from Perseverance instead of Point Booster. It costs 100 more gold, but I will say that HP regen and mana regen is a much better stat on average, I would say, than health and mana, especially the 2.5 mana regen. On heroes, for instance, like let's say a Brood is buying Phylactery. This is a hero that can afford to buy this item. The mana regen is definitely better than the mana on average. So yeah, probably overall a buff to the item, but I'm not so sure. Radiance now gives 10% more flat evasion. I've heard the evasion is 7% worse overall, so probably a nerf overall. Refresher Orb no longer requires Cornucopia. It now has a really expensive recipe, which is definitely a nerf. A lot of heroes liked buying the Cornucopia first. However, I wouldn't say it was like super necessary in the late game to have this, so probably not the end of the world. The item is absolutely worse. It doesn't give +10 damage anymore. It gives less HP regen. It gives less mana regen, but at the end of the day, if you're playing a Primal Beast and you want a Refresher Orb, just buy it. Just buy a Refresher Orb. If you're playing Earthshaker, just buy a Refresher Orb. The item is still going to be very, very good. Okay, Revenant's Brooch is the same. Scythe is the same. Shadowblade is actually 100 gold cheaper, which is, I would say, pretty significant. This item is definitely a timing tempo item, so that's pretty nice. Oh, a big thing I skipped on Radiance, quickly go back to that, is the burn no longer does extra damage to illusions, and nor does Shiva's Arctic Burn, Arctic Blast. So 2 items that countered illusion heroes and would be bought against illusions now don't do bonus damage to illusions. So that is a bit of a buff to, the Peels, Nagas, TBs, so on and so forth. Silver Edge got some really interesting change here. Shadow Walk debuff now caps the target's movement speed for 200, and this is not dispellable. BKB gets rid of it, but it is not dispellable. It caps the target's movement speed. That is crazy. This is similar to Naga's Deluge. It's the same, actually. So, for instance, against a Lycan or a Stampede on Centaur, if the hero uses, if Lycan is shapeshifted and you hit him with Silver Edge, he won't move. It's not a slow, it's a movement speed cap. So Silver Edge is this really odd counter to Centaur and Lycan and Haste. Very odd, but Weaver, for instance, if you hit Weaver with Silver Edge, it's gonna slow him. So there are just some really odd matchups where Silver Edge is just better now. Definitely practical. It has its place. Urn of Shadows, the item gains charges from a bit further away. It's less mana regen. You can now have multiple urns. They actually will all gain charges. So that's pretty cool. I actually do think Urn is such a good early game item that you can absolutely stack them now. However, this doesn't work on Vessel. You can't have 2 vessels. So you can have multiple urns, but you can't have multiple vessels. That's the big thing to understand. Veil now has a very weird build-up. It builds from Ring of Health, which seems maybe good. I don't know. This item's just kind of weird. It's like hard to buy this item. Wind Waker got nerfed, Wraith Band slight buff, whatever. Okay, let's get into the neutral item changes. Ripper's Lash out, Sister Shroud out, Spark of Courage out. There is a new item called Ash Legion Shield. Basically, it's a mini Pavise. That's all you need to understand. It gives 140 barrier in an AoE. So mini Pavise, definitely a super strong item, going to be very well rounded for subs, just giving that extra bit of health. Duelist Gloves is back. If you are close to enemy heroes, you get attack speed. Weighted Dice is now a new item. If you don't understand how this works, I was able to Google it before starting this video. Basically, when you hit a creep, there's two things that would happen. Number one, your hero has like a damage range. So for instance, CK, it can do like 50 damage on its attack or 70, for instance, right? The low roll and the high roll. Weighted Dice will always take the higher number. So it's much better for like just farming faster, especially on something like CK. And it also, like, creeps will give you like slightly less or more gold when you last hit them, and this also improves that. It takes the higher number out of the two. Like, it will compute it twice and take the higher number. So it's really good on heroes with high rolls like CK. In particular, this is an item you want. Brigand's Blade is out. Defiant Shell is back. This is an item where you would reflect an attack. Searing Signet got a big buff against heroes. It does about like 15% more damage against heroes, but it does 50% less against creeps. So the item is like a very good fighting item now, but it's much worse for farming. Jitty Pollen Bag it does like less damage and lasts for less time. So it's a nerf in terms of the item's effectiveness, but the cooldown is lower. I want to say this is kind of just a nerf overall. You might get it off twice in a fight, in which case it's a buff, but other than that, it's probably a nerf. Psychic Headband can now target allies. That's pretty crazy. Honestly, there's a lot of use cases for just potentially saving an ally. Obviously, you have to be careful about pushing your ally into the enemy team. It will be very funny to push allies into the enemy fountain. I will absolutely be doing that. But yeah, it's going to be pretty cool. Sometimes you'll be able to save people, so I like that change. This Unrelenting Eye is now a tier 3 item. Basically, it gives you a lot of slow resist, and if heroes are close to you, you lose the slow resist. So this is very, very good against high range slows. For instance, like a Veno or a Quap, you'll be able to still disengage. So you have to keep in mind, if they have high range slows, that's when this ability, when this item is going to be particularly good. Tier 4 items, a lot of them got changed. I like that because, I don't know, some of them were kind of broken, and the other ones just kind of sucked. Monocle out, best sup one by far. Staff, best situational one. Cloak, this item was completely unfun. Flare's Bota is a new one. Basically, the item gives you base damage and attack speed for 6 seconds. Long cooldown. It has a passive as well. The cooldown is reset when a hero dies. Okay, so basically it gives you attack speed and damage. Pretty good on right clickers. Maul got nerfed. Oh, okay. There's Idol of Skriok. It basically gives you, for 5 seconds, slow resist and evasion. Pretty strong in certain matchups. Then there is a Metamorphic Mandible. It turns you into an insect. Basically, it gives you magic resist and movement speed, but it reduces your armor. So, by a lot, by 45%. So it's really good against nukes, bad against physical damage. But it gives you 15% movement speed, which is pretty damn good, just in general. Rattle Cage is back in the game. Basically, it's a tank item. You go in, if you take damage, you fire out damage. Very, very good on frontliners. Super solid item. Helm of the Undying is out. Descent Bloodray is now a tier 5 item, which is kind of weird, but this item is definitely situationally broken on heroes like, Enigma and Tide, these like big AoE spells. Shaker, it was pretty broken. So last one, Rift Shadow Prism. New tier 5 item. It seems kind of bad, to be honest. It gives, it takes 10% of your current health to create a full health illusion for 20 seconds. Yeah, it allows you to split push, maybe on certain heroes with really good stats, like a Morphling. It's broken. It does 50% outgoing damage, which is pretty damn high, again, on something like a Morphling, and 240% incoming damage, so it dies reasonably quick. It doesn't have a mana cost. Its cooldown is 30 seconds. I guess on heroes like Morphling or something like a Terrorblade, where you're going to have incredible stats, it is going to be really, really obnoxious, as the uptime is very high. So yeah, I don't know. This seems kind of sus, because it's so situated. Like, it's so good on certain heroes and not on others, where I don't really love that, but it's tough. Okay, neutral creep changes. This is literally like a Chen nerf. Satyr Mindstealer is just worse. Satyr Banisher can't purge invulnerable targets. Sure. Okay, let's get into the hero changes. There's quite a bit of them. I've read about like 20%, so now I'm going to have to start reading a bit more closely. And let's get into it. All right, starting off with Alchemist, the mana cost was flat out nerfed to the highest skill point of the ability, so it's 120 flat instead of 105. I don't know why they decided to do this. I don't think the hero's like broken at all. I mean, the hero's win rate was pretty good in average bracket, but I don't know, kind of odd to me. They buffed the 15 talent, but frankly, the other one I'm pretty sure is still better. Anti-Mage, his shard no longer provides counterspell ally ability. It just like shoots out an illusion that's stronger. I don't know. It doesn't seem that good. And his 15 talent got buffed a bit. Arc Warden got 10 attack speed flat. That's a lot. So big buff to Arc Warden's attack speed. And the mana cost on his magnetic field is overall better, I would say, for sure. So yeah, I mean, definitely a buff, pretty big buff to Arc Warden. Axe got some big nerfs. Berserker's Call is now better at level 1, but the cooldown is worse at all levels. Here's the big thing though, Battle Hunger no longer has an armor-based damage multiplier, so you can't buy, you know, a bunch of rings of protection and get stacks of your ulti and have Battle Hunger deal 14,000 damage. It just doesn't do that anymore. It does pure damage, which is cool, but it doesn't scale. So this ability is just strictly worse. Big nerf to Axe, honestly. I don't want to say the hero's dead. I think Blink Blade Mail Axe is still totally fine, but this hero's laning stage and ability to cheese with the shard and just spamming W's, which I think is the best way to play the hero, was the best way to play the hero. It's just, it's not what it used to be. So, yeah, pretty big nerf to Axe in that regard. He did get a Battle Hunger damage per second talent, so maybe you still can buy the shard and like try to hit this talent, but I think at the end of the day, the hero is just significantly worse. Also, Helm Dom being nerfed is a big nerf to this hero as well. Again, you didn't have to buy that item, but still, yeah, I think Axe, pretty significant nerfs. Definitely expect this hero's win rate to drop. Bane got nerfed a little bit. Batrider got some daytime vision, which is cool, but they nerfed his flame break a bit. Sure, the hero's basically the same. Beastmaster, the hero is pretty similar. The big thing here is that boars now are hit slower. His inner beast is worse at level 1, but better at max, so the hero is probably nerfed overall, and Helm Bomb is nerfed as well, so like Wild Hunt Beast, again, weaker, probably overall nerfed to the hero. Bloodseeker got some really big changes, so they buffed his innate, so he heals a bit more. His shard, now it does max health as pure damage on your hits. And it's a lot, guys, because this hero hits really fast. Every single auto attack with your shard does 2% of the enemy's max health. So the item build is almost definitely going to be like Mjolnir BKB shard, or Maelstrom BKB shard is going to be the build on this hero for sure. And now its Ags is pretty crazy. It increases the current health as initial damage by 3%, so it makes your Rupture deal 13% of their health, and replaces the cooldown with 2 charges. So you Rupture 2 people. So I'm pretty sure this hero is just going to be a hybrid right-clicker. I think you also can play Utility Bloodseeker. Pretty sure Ags Rush Bloodseeker is reasonably viable from the offlane. We'll see. Overall, I do think the hero is going to be more of a carry, just with like Maelstrom, Mjolnir, BKB, Shard, then Ags, and then you're going to have your level 20 talent, which is going to give you cast range on this. So, yeah, pretty obnoxious. This hero is just going to be unfun to play against, frankly. That's my main takeaway. I don't know if it's going to be good, but it's certainly going to be annoying. Big thing, though, they removed the Spell Lamp at level 10, which was a big talent for this hero. I do believe it was a very broken talent. Completely removing that is kind of crazy. Bounty Hunter Stun is a little bit better. Brewmaster got some big changes. To sum it up, the hero got a big nerf to its strength game, which is pretty significant. Its old facets are practically removed. He has a new innate, where when you drop below 50% health, you gain status resist, and your movement speed alternates between faster and slower. This is your old facet, the what was it called? I actually can't remember. This is his old facet, where if you're low HP now, you move faster and slower, and you have status resist. It gets better as you level up. So yeah, pretty cool. I think that is obviously overall buff to the hero. Your innate is upgraded by your shard. You may activate the ability to toss a drink to you or an ally, granting them the max effects of his innate for 5 seconds. So you can also buy your shard and make allies gain status resist, or yourself gain status resist, and move faster and slower occasionally. Next up, Thunderclap is improved. The mana cost is kind of improved. The radius is overall better. Sinner Brew now drenches enemies on the way. A weird part of this hero is now Drunken Brawler is part of your E, and every time you cast an ability, you become brewed up. However, it's worse overall, and the duration is only extended by 1 second. If you, let's say you cast QW, you get 6 seconds of being brewed up, which is fine. It seems like an overall buff. You're going to be brewed up more often, seemingly. So yeah, maybe this hero is good. I don't know, because here's the thing. You have to stagger it. You might be like, oh, what if I cast my Q and then my W, so I'm brewed up for 10 seconds. You actually can't do that. Once you use, let's say you use Cinder Brute, you're going to become brewed up, right? But once it ends, you can't do it again for 9 seconds. You're hung over. Which is kind of weird, but sure, you're hung over. So you have to like stagger it. Next, you lost your Void Stance, the status resist, and slow. You also lost the Void Bruling. So, I don't know, kind of seems kind of rough. However, your other Broodlings get the brewed up stances now, so they're better. That's how they're doing it. The micro is easier, so it's a lot more user-friendly. But yeah, kind of weird. Next up, Brewmaster, the hero got a bit of strength gain, and the armor loss per stack on Viscous Nasal Goo is now increased. So buff to the hero, especially seeing red overall. Broodmother, this hero is probably broken. The Aghanim Shard no longer increases iteration, sure. Broodmother's illusions now also benefit from the web, which I actually didn't even know that wasn't the case, but now Mantistyle, which is an item this hero absolutely buys, is much better. Here's the big buff. Incapacitating Bite, however you say that ability, is now 2, 4, 6, 8. It is 3, 6, 9, 12. It went from 8 at max to 12. 12. It is 50% better. What in the world is that? That is some crazy stuff. Now, they did nerf the 15 talent a little to compensate, but it's still better even with the 15 talent. And obviously, you'd way rather have the ability be 50% better until you get to the 15 talent, even if they removed the 15 talent. I mean, actually, no, if they removed the 15 talent, that'd probably be too much. This hero also has I would say an overall better 10 talent. You get Insatiable Hunger Lifesteal 20% more, which is definitely nice. So yeah, I expect Broodmother to be pretty damn OP. They did nerf her level 20 talent, to be fair, as a core, where now you don't get that 35 attack speed, which is really, really good. However, maybe the bite slow miss chance is pretty good. I mean, it is a big slow increase. I'm not sure. That one I'm not sure about. The 20 talent, I have to get back to you guys on that one. Centaur, slight nerf. Obviously, the Helm Dom, probably the big nerf to the hero. And they nerf Workhorse a little bit, but still definitely really broken. I expect this hero probably still to be solid, but again, Helm Dom Centaur is probably still very playable, but just not nearly as broken as it used to be. Chaos Knight's spread got decreased, but that doesn't really change much. That hero is probably pretty similar. Overall, it's just you're going to miss last hits randomly less often, so that's actually probably pretty significant. Chen got nerfs. Obviously got the Satyr nerf, which is the big one. That was just the big nerf to Chen, is the Satyr burning way less mana, almost to the point where I feel like it's close to unplayable. I would say it does still give a lot of mana to you and your allies, so you're gonna have to pick it with the combos like Abaddon, otherwise it's not going to be useful. Penitence got some pretty big nerfs, cost way more mana. Cooldown is 20 at level 1 instead of 14. It doesn't grant bonus attack range, which is actually a pretty nice part of the ability. It now does pure damage by default, which, I mean, that's the big thing here. It's just a casual 50 damage nuke, which actually is pretty nice at level 1, so maybe that's the big thing here. You're just going to casually nuke some guy for 50, and it's pure, which is, more like a 70 damage nuke or something, 75, I don't know the numbers, but you get the point. Pretty nice overall. Clinks got some big changes here. He has a new innate. Now, him and his skeletons apply a stacking debuff that causes their attacks to pierce up to 20% of the target's armor. So, okay, you're much better against armor, which kind of makes Dessa worse, no? Strafe got nerfed a little bit. It gives less attack speed to your skellies. Searing Arrows returning as a base ability. This was tied to your Tar Bomb. Now it is back to your hero. It imbues your arrow with bonus damage, and the mana cost is 10. I think it counts as an attack modifier, and that's the big thing. If it's an attack modifier, this is the big buff to Clinks, because it lets you attack people without pulling creep aggro. That is huge. It's what makes heroes like Husker and Viper unlaneable for certain heroes, because they can walk in a creep wave and still hit you without pulling aggro. Deathpack no longer creates skeleton archers. Skeleton walk, archer stats, and Aghanim Scepter upgrade are now part of Skeleton Walk. Skeleton Archer duration rescaled seems longer overall. Okay, sure. So, yeah, I mean, probably the big thing here, I don't know if this hero is better or not, I'm not going to lie, guys, but the big thing is if you can hit people without pulling aggro, it's going to be pretty OP, at least in the lane. Clockwork. Jetpack can now be toggled on and off for the duration of the buff. That's actually pretty nice. Oh, but it has a cooldown, so you can't just... Why can't you just spam it? They should just let it be spammable. That would have been nice. Overclocking, Rocket Flare cooldown increased from 3 to 3.5. Oh, that kind of sucks. Sad. CM, 2 damage. Okay. Base int. Oh, no, the base damage was decreased. Sorry. But she got 2 base int, which is obviously nice. That's just more mana, and the damage is the same. Okay. CM got 2 int. That's pretty nice. Darkseer got 1 int and 1 damage, technically. But you can no longer vacuum Storm out of his ult or any invulnerable target. That's actually okay. I mean, that's probably situationally pretty annoying against like certain heroes. OD Puck, I guess. Wait, could you even vacuum Puck? Probably not. Cursed Crown stun duration is now quite a bit better. 0.3 better at level 1. That's pretty nice. Terrorize, Jex return speed increased from 600 to 800. Oh, that's actually really nice. So pretty big buffs to Dark Willow. The E is a much better value point now. And when you use your ulti, it's going to come back to you much quicker. So you can use your Bedlam. So that's actually really, really big. Definitely a big fan of that. Terrorize cooldown at 15 as well. I don't think you'll take that. The Cursed Crown AoE was actually kind of nice. So not sure. Bedlam damage, Terrorize cooldown. They're both pretty good. Probably Bedlam damage. Dawnbreaker got 1 base damage. Okay. Aghanim Scepter no longer reduces airtime or channel time, so it's worse. Okay. Dazzle got 1 base strength. He lost int gain, and he lost some damage gain. What in the world? And his shard is a bit worse. Okay, Dazzle's about the same. Death Prophet, movement speed bonus changed from 0.5 per hero level to 0.75 plus 0.75 per level up. Wait, so that's way better. Okay, so Death Prophet's innate is 50% better. That is seemingly very significant. Oh, but your ulti doesn't give you movement speed. So the hero probably is, I don't know, it probably is, I guess this is only when the ult was active. So I guess it's like more consistent, which is actually definitely way better, right? I think it was only when it was active. Fade Dota saying yes. Fade Dota part of the review here. He's saying it yes. So is it a buff? It's about the same. Yeah. It's probably about the same. Doom, int gain increased from 1.7 to 1.9. Remove Devil's Bargain facet. Oh, okay. So it's just out of the game. Devil's Bargain is out of the game. So you can no longer cheese items like Midas or even something like Blade Mail where you would buy it for the early game. Now you have to take Gluttony. Because the other one I'm pretty sure is bad. It got buffed. I don't know. Maybe it's okay. Yeah, I don't know. I think Gluttony is not terrible. Oh, wait. Doom now increases the damage. Sorry, Ags now increases the damage of Doom by a lot. Like a lot. So there's actually a reason to buy Ags on Doom now. It was probably one of the worst Ags in the game. I actually thought they should remove it. I hated it that much. But now it does way more damage. 15 more pure damage per tick. So impending Doom with Ags will be the late game menace of Dota. You will basically guarantee die to the Doom. To be fair, you would basically already die to the Doom. So I don't know if this is that good. So yeah, I'm going to say Doom is probably just nerfed overall. Dragonite lost 2 base agility. He lost damage, significant damage, on his ult. Oh boy, okay. His 10 talent, you can take Breathe Fire cooldown now, but you probably wanted damage most games anyway. They nerfed his 20 talent. Alright, some pretty significant DK nerfs. Drow got 5% movement speed slow increase on her Frost Arrows. Straight up just 5% more. So level 1 Drow is going to be really annoying to play against in the laning stages. Heroes level 1, level 2 is going to be, level 3 is going to be really annoying. Her ult disables from less range now, so like people have to be closer to you to turn off your ult. That's pretty nice. And she got this new talent, which is definitely better because her talents frankly sucked. She now gets this 25% mana cost on arrows reduction, which is pretty nice. You can now use them to farm a little bit more effectively, so that is pretty damn solid. This hero's win rate went up a lot, I saw. Earth Spirit lost 6 damage. He lost 6 damage. What? Oh, Stone Remnant now passively grants bonus attack damage per currently unused charge. What in the world? So if you don't use your stones, you have more damage. Whenever Earth Spirit uses an ability on a Stone Remnant, he gains bonus attack damage for 10 seconds, and the effect does not stack, okay? What in the world is this hero? Alright, sure. So you probably have, like, quite a bit more damage overall, I would assume. So maybe this hero's landing stage is broken? I don't know, guy. I'm not going to cap. This hero is weird. Maybe it's a better mid. Maybe it has a lot of damage. Shaker, Fissure does less damage. Shard, you cannot walk over the Fissure with Shard now. That's a pretty big nerf. Echo Slam does less flat damage, okay, at level 1, basically, only. It's slightly less at 2. Sure. Probably a bit of a nerf to the hero. Elder Titan, return Astral Spirit, move Astral Spirit sub-abilities can now be used while Elder Titan is disabled. That's actually pretty cool. Alright, I mean, sure, situationally interesting, useful. Ember Spirit, Flame Guard, What? Did they just buff this hero straight up? Kind of. Flame Guard is 3 seconds slower cooldown, which is reasonably significant, honestly. Okay, they nerfed his talents a bit, but honestly, the other talent, it's not even that big of a nerf. I mean, it's significant. It's not that big, and the other talents are, like, pretty good. The other 15 talent is, like, in my opinion, very underrated. So I don't know. I'm not sure. Okay, they nerfed Overprotective Wisps. What do they do to Rabble Rooster? Damage amplification changed from 10% plus 4% per level to 4% plus... Oh, what in the world? So it's just worse? Now also affects units that... Oh! Now also affects units that come under Ench's control. So, Ench's units just hit much harder. Ench's creep at level 3 does... I think it's 12% because it's 4% plus 4% level up. Not level up. So I think at level 3, it means your creep does 12% more damage. I mean, this has to be a buff overall, right? Because, I don't know, you're just... Oh, but they nerfed the ability. What? I don't know. This hero's probably, like, about the same. Oh, your 10 talent gives you armor now. That's kind of interesting. I don't know. The hero's probably about the same. It seems pretty whatever. Okay, Aghanim Shard now also spawns an Eidolon if the target dies before the effect expires. Sure, that seems super whatever. Faceless Void Time Dilation now always applies 1 instance of damage and slow in addition to the per cooldown instances. Okay, so it just like does an extra instance of damage, but the ability's worse. Probably super whatever. Phantom's Embrace cooldown is now also refreshed if the Phantom target dies before the Phantom latches to it. Oh yeah, that's actually a nice change because you would literally sometimes have to not throw it if the guy was about to die because it would just go on cooldown, which is super annoying and frankly not, I don't know, it's kind of stupid. So I like that change a lot. Soulbind ability can now be reflected. Reflected spells now get casted onto both units affected by Soulbind. And what, they nerfed the Axe? Sort of. It does less damage, but it takes less damage. Alright, sure. Gyro, Afterburner, nerfed by 0.5. And his ulti is worse. Okay, so the hero's tempo is worse. Hoodwink, Go Nuts Facet is significantly worse. Okay, are we back to this hero being shit? Ability can, because you can't even place wards from further away, that also got nerfed. Ability can no longer target trees affecting Acorn Shot or Bushwhack. Okay, sure. The hero lost its mana regen. It got a health talent. What do you take, Bushwhack or health? I actually don't know. You lost your Scurry ability charge. Oh, you would take, oh, I see. You would take a Scurry ability charge at 10. Now it's 15. Oh, and you get, okay, you get the Bushwhack damage at 10. I guess that's probably what you take. Health is not bad on the hero either. Invoker, Mind of Tornaris, Aghanim Shard, drag speed decreased. So this apparently had some insane win rate. So they're just kind of nerfing it based on the win rate for sure. Alacrity's mana cost is better. The cast range is better. Ice Wall does probably about the same damage. Sure. Io, base strength increased by 2. Int down by 2. Damage unchanged. Mana cost on spirits is 10 better. Cooldown is way better, but the duration is lower. However, that's definitely above. Io core is just way better. Way, way, way better. You're tankier. You have way more spirits. This hero is way better. Level 10, you have a strength talent. I mean, to be fair, you lost your damage talent, which was pretty nice. Overcharge duration seems pretty good, honestly. Strength seems great. Plus 50% spirits damage at 15. Oh, I see. Oh, it was plus 60 flat. Now, okay, so what is it? It's plus 50%. So, all right, so it was plus 60 flat. Now it's plus 45. Obviously, if you have like Spell Amp active, I guess it probably pairs well with like your E Spell Amp. I don't know what the damage change is going to be with like the Spell Amp, because maybe the idea here is that you're supposed to take overcharge duration so that the 15 talent is better as well. I can see that. Okay, they gave you relocate cast delay. That's pretty funny. I don't think you'll take that, but it's pretty funny. Jakiro, dual breath cooldown replaced with ice path damage. No shot you're taking that. Okay, liquid fire. You're definitely taking liquid fire. Attack speed slow at 10. The attack range is now 175. Dual breath cast range. You're probably taking the attack range. All right. Yeah, I guess they probably felt that the attack range at 10 was a bit too broken, which I would basically always take it at 10. So yeah, it probably was a bit too good. This is a reasonable change. However, the liquid fire attack speed slow is pretty good at 10. So yeah, I don't know. I want to say that this is pretty whatever. This hero still seems very good. Jug, this hero needed to be nerfed. Let's see. It lost 2 agi, and its spin cost more mana, and they nerfed it 20 talent. Okay, very reasonable Jug nerfs, just nerfing the hero overall. Coddle, base int increased, damage at level 1 increased, sure. Blinding Light does quite a bit more damage overall. It gives more damage, more mana at level 1, which seems pretty damn nice. Will-O-Wisp does a bit more damage, sure. And it has a Blinding Light damage talent now. Okay, you're not taking that. It's over Chakra Magic cooldown. Kez, oh god, I hate reading Kez notes. Honestly, if you're a Kez player, you're a rat. Go read it yourself. Kunkka, Torrent, damage increase from... Okay, this hero, Torrent does 30 more damage level 1. That's pretty nice. And the cooldown of X marks the spot is also much better in the early levels. So, pretty nice buffs to Kunkka. Maybe the hero's okay. Legion Commander, press the attack mana cost decreased by 10. That's pretty nice. And the cooldown of your E is also better at level 1, but worse at max. Leshrac, I read this one because someone told me to read this one. Some heinous stuff going on here. Diabolic Edict duration increased from 6 to 7.5. What is that? And the stun is just bigger radius level 1, so it's easier to hit early game 2. And this hero and this ability, you would typically have it as a value point for quite a while in a lot of games. So this hero is just way better. Pretty sure mid Leshrac is some diabolical BS. I don't know. This hero has to be complete broken crap. I don't know if they... I don't remember what the Bloodstone change was as well. Actually, okay, you probably wouldn't buy that item on this hero, generally. Yeah, I don't know. Leshrac seems completely broken. Lina got some really nice buffs here, a little bit of int gain. And Laguna Blade cast range is actually really significant because it allows you to get the supercharge or the whatever it's called overcharge benefit of the Laguna Blade without putting yourself out of position. So, or you know, or just being able to finish targets in general. So really nice change to Lina. Pretty big buff to the hero for sure. Lion got some mana buffs to Hex in the early levels, and they buffed Finger of Death. Okay. This is actually really nice. 10 seconds off of Finger of Death is very significant, so pretty big buff to Lion. I think this hero is honestly very solid. Lone Druid, I'm going to keep it a stat, guys. I'm not reading this shit. The hero's down 10% win rate, probably because no one knows what the ability does, or the hero does now, so it's like, whatever. I'll make a separate video on this hero at some point. Like, what is this? This is going to make the video like 4 hours. I'm just not reading it. If you're a Lone Druid spammer, best of luck to you. I hope you figure it out. Maybe it's broken, maybe it's not, I don't know. Lunar Orbit, collision damage, up by a lot. The formation time comes out quicker too. I have no clue. It's probably not that good. I'm gonna keep it a stack. So people were buying Ags on Luna, and they were pairing it with the Eclipse cooldown at level 15. Now it is a 20 talent. You do get the beam damage faster, which technically makes the Ags better quicker, but I'm pretty sure the Eclipse cooldown was way stronger. So I'm gonna say that this hero is worse, but don't quote me on that. I don't really know. It seems worse. Lycan, they nerfed Lycan. I'm pretty sure they didn't have to do that. They made Crimson Guard undispellable, and they made Helmdom worse, and they nerfed Lycan. Pretty sure this hero is playable in its broken matchups like it always is. If it's a free Lycan game, it's a free Lycan game. That's gonna be probably true till the end of time, till this game dies. But yeah. This hero is probably way worse, like quite a bit worse. Magnus, especially when people know what they're doing, aka buy a freaking Crimson Guard against Lycan. Magnus, got some damage? Okay. Marcy, remove Fleeting Fury. Okay. Period. That's the only change. That's pretty funny. I mean, obviously Helmdom nerfed as well, but I don't know. Okay, sure. So Marcy carry is probably dog shit. Mars, Rebuke against heroes, worse. Lol, that used to be like way higher. It's 5 now. It used to be, I swear, it used to be like 30 or something. And it's 20 talents worse. Okay, the hero's probably fine though. Medusa, Mana Shield no longer benefits from mana cost reduction effects. Why are they nerfing this hero? Sure. More Meepo is the same. Starstruck is nerfed. Second meteor damage increased though. Okay, Moonlight Shadow is lower cooldown in the early levels. Alright, I mean this hero's probably about the same. I don't know. Maybe a bit worse. Monkey King, base armor decreased by 1. Its attack time improved by quite a lot. Oh, but he lost base attack speed. But it's probably a buff. Almost definitely a buff. And he gets stunned less when he falls off a tree. Sure. Morphling can now stun people with his E now, which you used to not be able to do with the Agi facet. So now you can stun people. So you can cancel TPs with Morphling, which is actually really, really significant. And just stunning them in general. It's actually quite significant. Muerta got some int gain. The calling is now less mana. The cast range is better, so some nice buffs to Muerta. The big thing here probably is attack speed at 10. I assume this is just like giving you the option to have an attack speed talent with Carry Muerta, which is really huge. This hero uses attack speed extremely well. You are losing out on the Deadshot cast range, which even on Carry was probably just really good, but yeah, probably a buff to Muerta Carry. Naga Siren, base int. Naga base int decreased, agility gain increased. Okay, so making the hero a bit of a better core. They also buffed Riptides. So again, yeah, I mean this hero as a sup is probably, I don't want to say it's dead, but oh, they also nerfed the healing. Okay, the hero as a sub is going to be mega situational, but the hero as a core is probably pretty good. Honestly, this hero is probably mainly back to being a core. As they nerfed, they nerfed the sub aspect of this hero a lot. Frankly, I'm going to give it a stack. I still think the hero is going to be a pretty playable sup, but just not going to be like first phase pick ban, I think. Nature's Prophet, agility gain, decreased by a lot. 0.4. Good God. And his damage gain per level decreased as well. Yeesh. And his innate is nerfed. What the hell? This hero is going to hit for like 3 damage. Oh, they buffed Treants. We're back. Mana cost decreased by 20. Attack range increased by 25. Damage increased by 1? 1? And they're faster? Okay. That's it's definitely not enough, but maybe I can summon some Treants. I don't know. And they nerfed the shard, so the hero's way worse as a core and a support. So the hero probably kind of sucks. I don't know. Okay, Necro. They nerfed Profane Potency. Some 3k shit right there. Reaper Sight. HP regen per kill decreased. Sure. Talent slightly changed. No longer reduces HP regen during the day. Okay, that's actually a big buff to the hero. So the hero would literally lose HP regen during the day. That does not happen anymore. That's pretty dang significant. So that's pretty nice. That's actually super nice. It makes it where you can absolutely take Voidbringer more often. Nyx Assassin got Spike Carapace is almost 2 times as good at level 1. That is kind of crazy. Sheesh. 2 times as good at level 1. Okay, pretty big buff to, well, okay, but they nerfed Mind Flare. So the hero's worse at bursting people, but it's better stunning people at level 1. I don't know. Probably about the same. Ogre Magi got 1 damage. Cast range of Bloodlust is better. About the same. Omni Knight lost an armor. Cooldown on Repel is 5 seconds better. That's pretty nice. And the cooldown on Guardian Angel is better. So the hero's a better sup. But it lost an armor, so trade's worse. Oracle no longer has separate effects for allies and enemies. Always disarms the targets. Oh, God. Okay, so Oracle is just like, you can't... What? So now you disarm your guy again. I mean, the cooldown is way lower, though. To be fair, it's just, like, more situational now again. The cooldown and the mana costs are way better. I mean, like, way, way, way better. 8 seconds at max is crazy stuff. But you're disarming your ally. So if you're using it on your mid and like stuff like that, it's significantly better because the cooldown's lower. But, you know, it usually a big use case of this ability was like your carry's going high ground. You put W on them, they can keep sieging and they can't be poked. That's just not an option anymore. So, yeah, I don't know. Pango lost his facets. Okay, what does that mean? So does he just not have facets now? How does that work? He has 1 facet and it doesn't do anything. Okay, cooldown is better on Swashbuckle by 1. Briefly slows. It's actually a pretty significant slow. Shield Crash cooldown is quite a bit better. The mana cost is overall better. Barrier changed from certain amount per hit to... Oh, I see. So it used to give you a certain amount per hero hit. Now it just gives you like flat amount. So you can't get like a 1k barrier. If you shield crash into 5 heroes, you're not going to be invulnerable. You will now just be slightly tankier. And the duration is much shorter. The damage decreased by quite a bit. No longer slows. Oh, that's not good. And they nerfed the axe. They also changed Rolling Thunder cooldown, duration a bit. It no longer decreases the cooldown of Shield Crash. And it takes 1 second to reach full roll speed? What the hell is this shit? Alright, this hero has got to be just terrible. I don't know. Alright, pretty sure Pango is hot garbage. Probably some completely unplayable hero. I don't know. You, like, don't scale. How do you scale? You can't buy axe. How do you scale on this hero? It's just a full... You have to go full utility. Mode, Vessel, Mage Slayer. Phantom Assassin. Blur. Active movement speed is much higher. Phantom Strike is now 2 charges with longer cooldown. Okay, so it's a 12-second cooldown, but you have 2 charges. It used to be a 5-second cooldown. I want to say it's better. I don't know, though. Because, like, it's worse overall if you're spamming it off cooldown. Phantom Lancer agility gain increased by 0.6. That is a lot. Ability reworked. His innate, whenever illusion of Phantom Lancer is created, it can't have less than 18% of Phantom Lancer's damage for 3 seconds. Damage increases by 2% with every 3 Phantom Lancer level up. Why? You guys can go figure that one out. You can't have a low amount of damage on illusions. Phantom Rush no longer provides bonus agi. Cooldown is worse. It now gives evasion while rushing and has a linger effect. The bonus is lost once the target is reached. What is this? Okay, I have no clue. I guess the illusions hit harder or something because of the innate. I don't know, guys. Phoenix Sunray. Health cost per second is lower. Base damage is lower. Max damage is better early, worse later? Kind of quite a bit worse later. That kind of sucks. They buffed his HP regen talent at 15. I actually really like that talent. Okay, AoE bonus per slam on Primal Beast nerfed, sure. Puckish no longer applies when disjointing attacks from buildings. Okay, so you can't be a little cheese lord mid. Pugna heals less from siphoning facet, and they nerfed his 15 talent. Seems reasonable. Queen of Pain bondage nerfed. Okay, so the Dagon build is probably quite a bit better. Queen of Pain with the Dagon is probably, yeah, quite a bit better, because they also buffed Dagon. Eye of the Storm, Storm Surge cooldown reduction decreased from 2.5 to 2. That's like the innate, right? Oh, and they buffed the ability quite a bit as well. All right, so I mean, I don't know, kind of interesting. I don't think the hero's much better, though. Razor's probably just okay. I don't think this hero's terrible. I can't believe no one plays it. I never see anyone play it. Ricky, no longer levels with Cloak. Okay, wait, what? Backstab no longer levels with Cloak and Dagger. It now goes up when you level up, and it doesn't really work on denies. It works 25% of denies. Blink Strike now has 2 charges. Oh, no. Blink Strike no longer has 2 charges. Now it just has a really, really low cooldown. Oh, we're back to that era. Okay. So at level 1, it's kind of just straight up worse. It's way worse, actually. You're going to have way less kill potential at level 1, because you would be able to, like, double slow people. But now, instead of 13 seconds, it's 4 at max. Obviously, that's with 1 charge, but it's pretty... I mean... Okay, so this hero at level 7 is much better now. But before that, it's probably quite a bit weaker. Its laning stage, being able to chase people down with 2 charges was way better than whatever this is. Like, it's not even remotely close. It's hard nerf. So I don't think the hero is going to be much better, frankly. I think Ricky is probably going to be pretty similar. Oh, Cloak and Dagger now grants experience when getting a kill and 100 experience when getting a hero assist. Just straight up? Oh, that's pretty huge. All right, he just straight up has that. Ringmaster got some mana buff. Rubik got some crap. The hero sucks. Sand King got some slight buff to his 20 talent, but a big nerf to his 25 talent. Disruption is a little bit worse, but Shadow Demon is probably still very good. Shadow Fiend is... Souls on hero kills increase? Okay, that's pretty whatever. Overall, okay, Shadow Fiend's about the same. Shaman got a big buff. I mean, they nerfed Massive Serpent Ward, but... That facet already got nerfed. I'm pretty sure Chicken Fingers might just be better. I'm not 100% sure on that one. But Shackles is now from 70 damage heal to 100. So it is now a 200 HP swing. 200 HP swing. If you are missing 100 health and you shackle someone, you are swinging the trade by 200. That's crazy. So Shackle level 1, way more viable now. You can just trade a little bit, Shackle, and it's going to be super efficient. And the cooldown of Serpent Ward is now scales with levels. So this hero quite a bit better. Definitely going to have to look into trying this hero. Silencer, Synaptic Split, no longer has decreased number. Okay, whatever. Arcane Curse, Multiplier, worse. They buffed Glaive's Insteel by double level 1, but the duration is half. So you really built... I mean, hey, you're going to trade really efficiently with Glaive's level 1 for a short period of time. So I don't know if it's better. It's going to make you trade very efficient against any heroes very quickly. If you're laning against some Huerta, you can beat Harass or Rubik very quickly because you're going to steal 2 damage and away and get it. Okay, Skyrath, some whatever changes. Slytherine, Stun, Slardar is probably still extremely good. Slark got some big changes. Okay, Essence Shift is now an innate. The duration rescaled to 15 plus 2.5 every time you level up. So it takes a while to get good. Like a long time to get good. Pounce now applies Essence Shift stacks when leashing. Okay, so you just straight up get Essence Shift while pouncing. It's not an effect anymore. Barracuda is back to the ult. So you don't get regen during the lane anymore, I think. He now has Saltwater Shiv, new basic ability, because Essence Shift is not ability. Passive autocast. Slark slices the target with his Salty Shiv, stealing 3 movement speed, 3 HP regen, and health restoration with each attack. Oh, it's a passive. I totally missed that. Subsequent use refreshes the duration of all Shiv stacks. The duration is 6, 8, 10, 12. It's a mana cost. What? Has a cooldown? Oh, you have to turn it on and then it becomes passive. And then it's on your hits. So it has a cooldown. You steal movement speed and HP regen. So I guess in the laning stage you have to like click this trade? That doesn't sound that bad. Kind of interesting. I don't know. That's kind of cool. You like turn it on. It's only a 10-second cooldown. It basically doesn't cost mana. You trade. That's not bad. Shadow Dance now passively grants movement speed, HP regen when unseen. Okay. So, I mean, I don't know. This hero seems like it's probably better. As a support, you can't scout wards at level 1 anymore because you just don't have that. So obviously it's a big nerf there. They also nerfed the shard. So I think this is Valve's attempt to like make the hero not a support. However, you know, certain players will still try it. It's more of a core now for sure. Way more of a core. I think it's going to be pretty close to unplayable as a sup. Much better as a core again though. Okay, Snapfire. Buckshot now only affects attacks made on enemy heroes. Oh, that's nice. So you can't just like randomly miss last hits and denies because of this. Attacks on non-heroes can still ricochet and miss, but they won't have extra damage or glance chance. Sure. Fire Snap Cookie costs more mana, the shard is worse, and the E is a bit worse. Okay, pretty reasonable changes. Sniper is about the same. Spectre got some really weird changes. This one I've actually seen. It's now an agility hero. Its damage got changed by 2. Its attack time got worse, but it got way more base attack speed. I don't know exactly how that plays out. Desolate is now innate. It's 25 plus 2 for every level up, which seems pretty good. I mean, you just get Desolate at level 1, which seems pretty nice. Dagger costs less mana, and your illusions now benefit from the path, which is pretty cool. Shadow Step is now a basic ability, so your old ult is now a basic ability. However, it has only a 700 cast range at level 1 and up to 1150, so it's not global at all. It's pretty interesting. I mean, basically, here's how I see the hero. In the laning stage, your threat is going to be at level 1. You can basically click Shadow Step on the position 4 and randomly be on top of them, and that's pretty good. I mean, obviously it's not instant. It like shoots out the illusion, so it's not literally instant, but you can very much threaten the pause 4 very quickly, or you can just have dispersion, or obviously you can very normally take Spectral Dagger and it just costs less mana. So it doesn't seem that significant, but sure, you get Desolate for free, which is pretty nice. You didn't really want to skill this ability until max anyway, so that's pretty cool. Haunt is now the ultimate again. It's an 180 second cooldown at max. It's 140 at max, 180 at level 1 though, so it really it takes a while to come online. But I don't know. I'm not exactly sure what to think about the Spectre. It can like jump on people in fights, which is pretty cool. Obviously the hero is much better at not getting kited. I'm inclined to say that you want to buy something like Diffusal now. However, Haunt is now back to what it used to be, which is obviously very good with Radiance, you know, like people used to play it, but I don't know. I was gonna say, oh yeah, I was thinking Diffusal would be good with this, but it now no longer works with illusions, so obviously that's pretty problematic. Yeah, I don't know what you buy in this hero. It's probably like Manta Blade Mail Radiance or something like that. Sure. Spirit Breaker. Charge, stun duration increased. Okay, so the hero stuns for longer. The shard is a bit worse. Okay, the hero's about the same. Still very, very good hero. Storm Spirit loses less charges on death. That's pretty nice. Storm's a bit better. Sven has better cleave at level 1, but worse at max. And Warcry is slightly better. That hero is probably still garbage. Techie's got a little bit of agi and 1 damage. Whatever. TA Meld is way worse in the early levels, but the same at max. So TA nerf. The traps are worse overall. And, okay, so this hero is probably just nerfed. Terrorblade. Illusions that are outside the radius no longer have a damage penalty. Damage increase for illusions within the radius increased from... What? Damage increase for illusions within the 1200 radius increased from 25 to 60%. Okay, so if illusions are close to you, they get quite a bit more damage. The reflection damage decreased by quite a bit. Okay, it seems like at level 1, the illusions hit quite a bit harder, right? Because, oh, maybe not really, actually. All right, this seems like a nerf, right? Because the illusion at max is just straight up 25% worse. And then, I don't know, this is very confusing. I'm not gonna lie, guys, I can't solve this. It will reflect in the win rate. If this is a buff, the hero's win rate will go up. If it's a nerf, it will go down. It seems like a nerf, but I'm not 100% sure. Tidehunter. Gush. Damage is rescaled, kind of whatever. The E is better. Anchor Smash is better. This hero's Ravage cooldown of 15? What in the world? That's kind of interesting. Ravage cooldown. Okay. Timbersaw. Base damage decreased by 5. Whirling Death tree damage bonus decreased by 2 at all levels. That kind of sucks. Reactive stacks, max stacks down. Okay, Timbersaw is probably still playable, but these are pretty big nerfs. I mean, pretty rough. So yeah, I don't know. I think the hero is going to be just average. I mean, I'm sure if you pick it in good matches, it's still going to be very, very good at the end of the day. Tinker got the mana cost buff at 10. That's pretty nice. And 40 int at 25. Oh, but you would never take that over laser AoE, I'm pretty sure. So, cap. Tiny, strength gain increased by 0.2. Avalanche is now just a stun. So, the big thing here is it's just a stun, but the reason why that's huge is you can't BKB it. You used to be able to BKB in between the ticks. Now it's just a stun, so that's pretty huge. It's actually very huge. Tree Throw no longer has separate damage bonus, and apparently the bonus damage on this ability is just straight up better, so you just hit harder. So yeah, Tiny's win rate went up quite a bit. It's just like a better hero overall, especially as like a carry, if you want to play it that way. Treant, quite a bit of changes here. No longer upgraded with Aghanim Shard. The Nature's Guise now can be activated while tree walking to make Treant Protector invisible until he attacks or loses the buff. The linger time is 2 seconds. The cooldown is 50. It's reduced by 3 per 2 Treant Protector level up. Cooldown starts when invisibility ends. The linger time is 2 seconds. Oh, can be activated until he attacks or loses the buff. Oh, okay. Okay, so you can just like opt to make yourself invis, which is pretty nice. Definitely very, very useful, right? And this is just innate, right? So you just get it. So like early game, you can scout, stuff like that. It's pretty nice, just getting angles on people. Forces people to have to buy detection from time to time, which is always huge. Seems pretty nice. Nature's Grasp no longer does 50% more damage and slow when touching a tree. The damage got buffed a bit as a result, though, which is pretty nice. It makes it like more consistent, I guess, but probably worse overall. The slow got buffed a little bit, but same thing. It's kind of worse overall. Creep penalty decreased. Okay, the creep penalty got decreased, but that's because the ability is like generally doing less damage because you would just connect it to a tree when killing creeps almost always. Not always, though. So I guess in general, Nature's Grasp, if you're like shooting it up a wave and like let's say you're defending a tower, you're not going to connect it to a tree. So actually probably quite a bit better. Leech Seed reworked. It's a passive auto cast attack modifier. What in the world? Tree and Protector's attack plants a life-sapping seed in an enemy unit. Hey, yo. Dealing an extra 20, 40, 60, 80 magic damage. The enemy is bound and emits 2 healing pulses, one upon application and one upon expiration. Healing allies. No mana cost. Cooldown is super long. It's breakable. What the heck? Now only sends out maximum of 5 heals per pulse. This has got to be terrible. This sounds terrible. Well, I can't hit people in team fights. Who am I playing? Phantom Assassin? What is this? How do you use this? I guess the concept is they're like buffing the hero in other ways, but like, how do you use this? Overgrowth. Decreases cooldown by a ton. When casting, Tree and Protector draws power from the earth, becoming massive for 16 seconds. Gaining strength. Oh, phase movement and a splashing attack. While large, he has fixed movement speed. Eyes in the Forest is now a shard. Cast range is way bigger. Overgrowth is no longer applied. Enchanted trees now have the same health as Observer Ward and they expire after 5 minutes. Okay, I have no clue what this hero is. I mean, the fact that you have Eyes in the Forest as a shard is really cool. The fact that you can go invis is really cool. Trees can be attacked when revealed by True Sight. They'll remove the ability effect from the tree. The charge or store time is 55 seconds, which is really long. That doesn't seem that OP. I don't know. I kind of want to say the hero is just complete garbage. It seems like they're trying to almost make him a core. So I would say the main thing you should try here is playing him as a core. I don't think the hero is a sup at all. It seems like some sort of core. Troll Warlord. Bonus armor increased. I guess that's about it. Tusk, gather radius. Okay, so it's harder to save people as Tusk, sure. Underlord, got a bit of strength gain, got a bit of int. The cast range on his Q is way better. Okay, Underlord's probably a broken hero. Underlord seems very, very good. Undying, Soul Rip is quite a bit better. Major buff to the ability in terms of cooldown in the early level. Sure, that's pretty nice. And the 15 talent got buffed. And I actually really like this 15 talent. Holy Lock and Undying is probably pretty solid. Can definitely see the line. Ursa got some big changes here. The shard got reworked and no longer gives you the enrage. It applies 3 fury swipe stacks, which is a lot, by the way. 3 stacks is a lot. Enrage cooldown is better. However, the 20 talent where you would apply 2 fury swipes with Urshock is now Maw health. I don't know. This seems pretty good. I guess they're just saying that Ursa's shard probably had a really good win rate. Maybe they looked at the numbers and that was the case. It was really annoying. It was almost hard to track when Ursa was enraged, when he was using his shard, and so on and so forth. So I do kind of like this. The shard seems pretty good to me. 3 Fury Swipe stacks for just casting Earthshock is pretty damn cool. They did replace the 20 talent with like Maul health, but now you just take Earthshock Radius with this new shard. That seems pretty good. Honestly, Ursa is probably still just really, really good. Obviously, you don't have the old shard, though. Venge. Magic Missile cooldown. Rescaled. Better early. Worse late. The hero's probably still just very, very good if you're in average bracket. Still just going to be super solid. Plague Carrier. Venomous Scale. Plague Wars created by Venomous Scale have 75% health and damage. Okay. And they nerf Septic Shock. All right. So I would say if you're going to play Veno, consider playing him with the other facet. Not that this is like terrible by any means, but yeah, definitely worth trying Veno with Patient 0. I would say it's probably just still super good. Caustic Bath, time to max effect increased by a second. Poison attack mana cost. Oh, poison attack is better. Okay, guys, we are back to old Viper. Probably not. I mean, I would still say, honestly, the Caustic Bath still seems totally fine. I would say Viper still is incredibly good. Yeah, I would say definitely consider spamming this hero in a variety of the core roles. Definitely solid. Visage, mana speed drain increased from 12-16-20-24 to 12-18-24-30. Okay, so you get a lot more mana. Movement speed at the higher levels. Familiars now have their own copy of Gravekeeper's Cloak. Sure. Familiars now have their own ability to independently recall it to Visage. Because he can just like, I don't know. I haven't seen this hero in a hot minute. No one plays his shit. If you're a Visage player, I hope this is a buff. Void Spirit. Aghanim Scepter Silence decreased by 0.25. That's actually pretty significant. You know, because frequently you would chain silence with this, so it's 0.5 less total. That definitely matters. So nerf to Void Spirit for sure. Warlock, nerfing Golem cooldown by 5. Okay. It will matter from time to time. Definitely annoying, but not the end of the world. The ability is still just very, very good. Okay, they nerfed the 15 talent, which was very powerful. The attack speed to allies definitely was nice, especially for sieging. The 20 talent, summon Golem on Death, replaced with damage resistance for golems. Okay, that's pretty cool. Honestly, I would say that's a buff because this Golem on Death was just kind of inconsistent. It's not like you wanted to die and like you would die and it would be kind of hard to use. So I would say Ag's Warlock, which is something certain players really like doing, is quite a bit better as you scale into the game with this 25% damage resistance is a lot, right? So pretty cool there. 25 talent plus 3 Fatal Bond targets. I mean, situationally, that's going to be broken as heck. Okay, that's pretty cool. Or you can get Summon Golem on Death. Hell no. Okay, what in the world? No shot. You definitely take Fatal Bonds targets. If you can find a good Fatal Bonds on like Illusions, Creepwave, units plus heroes, it is going to annihilate heroes. So that's definitely going to be a fun one. Weaver, the Swarm is better at max. The Ags got buffed. It's one of the most cap Ags in the game. I hate it. Do not buy that shit. But yeah, the Swarm is better. Wind Ranger agility gain increased from 1.9 to 2.1. That's pretty nice. Damage gain increased as well. Gale Force nerfed. Okay, the hero's probably a good carry, as we've been seeing, or like a cool carry. Gonna make a video on that one, by the way. Winter Wyvern, base damage increased by 1. Base damage at level 1 increased from 41 to... base damage increased by 1. Okay. And his base attack range increased by 25. Sure. Arctic Burn, bonus attack range decreased. Alright. It's a buff, though. So Wyvern is about the same, but slightly better at trading in the laning stage overall. Witch Doctor. Burst damage does not apply from non-hero units. Sure. I actually didn't know it did that. Now it also affects player-controlled creeps, so you can kill Helmdoms and Maledict. Okay. Voodoo Restoration activation mana cost decreased by a lot. Mana per second rescaled from 8, 12, 16, 20 to 9, 12, 15, 18. Okay. It's definitely better overall, right? Because it only costs more mana after 10 seconds of using it, so at level 1. And then it's way better at max. Like, it's not close, as it literally gets better once you put it at level 2. So, yeah, I don't know. Pretty interesting. I am a fan of this ability. I think it's pretty solid. Maledict now affects player-controlled units. And the Aghanim Scepter bounce range decreased. Okay. Level 15 Maledict duration. Oh, that seems pretty good. 4 seconds Maledict duration is pretty nasty at a 15 talent. That is definitely worth taking. I mean, the Maledict AoE was obviously very, very good. The cast bounces is very, very good, but Maledict duration seems very good. So I would definitely, that's definitely worth taking, especially with the malpractice facet. Pretty cool. Oh, I see. It was his 25 talent, but whatever. It's a 25 talent. Cast cooldown is probably what is maybe even better anyway. I don't know. That one's questionable. Okay, 2 more. Wraith King. Stun's a bit better. Talents are worse. Zeus. Some whatever change. Okay, they're both pointless. 7.40 done. Yeah, pretty cool patch. Honestly, I think they did a nice job. I think a lot of very significant changes that are going to shake up the meta a lot. A lot of the game changes, item changes, are very, very significant. So yeah, super solid patch overall. Definitely excited to see how this plays out. A lot of cool items, neutral items, hero changes. Even the game changes are very significant. You know, things like the gate mana, watch revision during the night. Some of the camps got changed. I actually forgot to talk about that one, but I'll probably make a separate video on that. The couriers, regen being changed, you know, is really, really significant. So cool patch. I'm going to be making a lot of patches in the upcoming days about 7.40. So if you haven't subscribed, make sure you do that. I'm going to talk about the top builds, you know, different item builds, skill builds, the broken heroes, you know, everything, so on and so forth. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. Again, if you did, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.